This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
I'm always thinking every time she's with us, like things go through my mind and she reveals through astrology transits and what can we expect around us, but then blends that astrology with life coaching. There's some interesting vibes out there this past week and leading into next week. And I'm wondering what she's looking at as our professional of the year. Nancy Volante is back with us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, Steve. It's a lot of energy the
Can I
past
can I
2 weeks.
share what I'm feeling? And don't agree with me unless it applies to this
No,
transit. Now, I don't even know what you're going to talk about.
I
What's
promise.
going on? Maybe it's I think you said Neptune. That's the only word I got. That's the only
Okay.
thing I know. What's coming up for me in the last week and change is instead of things taking a long time for me to realize that they don't work for me or support my goals, I'm nipping them in the bud, so to speak, sooner, where I might take longer and say, well, it's not, I'll go a little bit longer. I'll go a little longer before I either end something or make adjustments. Now it's like, no, I got it. I'm already feeling it and making the change. I started a couple of different things. I'm like, nope, that's not working. Got to change that. Nope, that's not working. Got to change that. Not rash decisions, but I'm
Right.
aware of it sooner. And I find it weird and it's going against the grain. Like, yeah, you got to move on now, change it up now and onto something else, whereby I'd let it go. I'd let months go by. Is that a byproduct of the energy now? And don't agree with me unless it
I won't.
is.
I promise I won't, but I got to tell you something, Steve. You're onto something.
Hmm.
Because remember, I've said before, you could throw out the chart, throw it right out. You're going to feel, we as human beings are going to feel, if you are conscious, right? Mindful and in tune. You've done some inner work, all those uh, things that you need to do in order to get to a place where you're feeling legit about what you're feeling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, you don't need, well, I'm going to put myself out of business, but it's not like you need the chart. The chart is a tool because, Steve, what you're
The
saying
chart
to
is
me,
validation. That's
it is
what comes up for me.
validation and
It's
it's a
like, why am
tool.
I feeling
Yeah.
this? Oh, well, that's interesting. It ties into something there.
Yeah. And so you are tying into something. And I wouldn't just say this. I promise I would not. But what you're tying into, and I'm going to start with the elements. You're tying into the element of air and the element of fire, which we are moving into. And that's going to move fast. So our energy, our air, our thoughts, our ideas, our how we communicate socially, and fire, the energy to move forward, it's got to be quick, it's got to be fast, it's got to be now.
Hmm.
That's what we're going into for the next few years. And, we will talk about the Chinese fire horse, that fire horse. And the horse,
Oh,
horses, you got
hmm.
that?
I
Yeah.
didn't even, duh, I didn't even put the two together. And
No.
we talked before we got on here that we're thinking
Yeah.
about maybe talking about the fire horse, Chinese astrology, which that transit or whatever begins in another couple of weeks. I didn't put the fire together on that. Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. So before we get into having a conversation about that, which I really want to, thank you, because I think it's so important. I think there needs to be a conversation about Neptune moving into Aries, which was Monday, January 26th. Freaking huge.
Really?
I mean, I'm still kind of like, and here's the thing, Steve, with life in general and coaching and healing and consciousness, all the stuff that we like to do for self-help and self-care and self-growth. It's about transitions. And, being a former professional dancer for many years, that was the hardest thing for me sometimes is transitions from one step to the other.
Hmm.
Sometimes the transitions in moving were really, oh, wow, this is great. This feels good. Other times I struggled with those transitions, with the counts, with the rhythm. And I correlate that to life. And how do we move through those transitions? It's a dance, it's a movement, it's a partnership, if you will. So this Neptune, let me backtrack. Neptune was in Pisces for 14 years, right? So it was in Pisces from 2011 to 2026, Monday. Now, in 2025, it retrograded back and forth. So it moved into Aries and it retrograded back. And I really believe that the universe does, I like retrogrades, you know that. I think that the universe gives us those retrogrades for preparation, to
Mm.
prepare for something, to prepare for a transition. That's why when I'm doing an astrological reading or coaching, and I see retrogrades, I'm like, you got to pay attention to those. If you have retrogrades in your chart, that's something to really pay attention to. So that was a little side note. So, but now,
And to side
oh, go
note your
ahead.
and to side note your side note, um, Mercury retrograde again kicking in a few weeks,
Oh, yeah.
and
Tell me. Oh, 2 weeks. Thanks, Steve.
yeah, I forgot the exact
Thank you.
date. I
Me
remembered it a
too.
few weeks ago. Um,
Yeah.
but I went back in my journey in my history, and just again, a side note, and there's many different retrogrades, but focusing on
Yes.
Mercury, I found that many of the impactful, tumultuous situations in my life from I'm talking my low 20s on up occurred during a Mercury retrograde.
You know what I love about that? And if you don't mind me saying something about your chart, because we've
Sure,
looked at your chart a couple times, is that okay?
please.
Um, yeah, Mercury is very important to you because your rising is Gemini. Your whole chart is ruled by Mercury. You're a Mercury dude,
I never even knew
I mean,
that.
you're about communication.
Well,
You
yeah.
what?
Okay.
Yeah. You're about communication. You're about learning. How do I process? How do I do this? I mean, it rules your chart. That planet is very important to you. And I could feel, because we've talked now for a while. We've been doing this for a few months. And Mercury retrogrades, they really hit you or they stimulate you, or ignite you in some way. I think that's really important.
The one I might have shared it. I don't. No need to get into it, but
Yeah.
I have to say to your point. Very early in my career, something happened where I needed to use what I do and communication. Um, I'm just going to say to save lives. It just showed up for
Yes.
me. It was during a retrograde. So interesting
And I
that you're saying
remember
that.
that story. I
Yeah,
know we're not going to go into it, and I so love that and so honor you. I know what you're talking about, and that was a Mercury retrograde. Do you see how
it was.
important that is for you?
It was.
Oh my God, I just got chills.
It's
I just love
freaky
that.
when I saw it from my eyes. Looking at it, it's like, oh, that was during a retrograde. But I never made the Mercury, the planet of communication connection until this moment. Thanks to you. Wow.
And I can't remember if Mercury is retrograde in your chart. I'll take a look, and then next time we talk, I'll let
What
you
what
know.
what
But
would that mean? What would that mean?
if
Like when
if
you were
you have
born?
Mercury retrograde in your chart, if you were born with Mercury retrograde, is that what you're asking? Yeah.
And you're not necessarily saying if you were born during a Mercury retrograde, but just Mercury retrograde
Yeah.
in your chart.
Yes.
I wasn't
I didn't know
born.
if that's
I went back and I even checked. I wasn't born
oh, you
during
did.
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, yeah.
So
Well, not good. But if you were, or because your chart is ruled by Mercury, so whether it's direct or whether it's retrograde, it means a lot to you. So so your Mercury, and this is me being me, your Mercury is inside out.
How do you mean?
So inside out. So because your chart is ruled by Mercury, when Mercury is retrograde, you're very internal and you're okay with that. You can do that. And you're also out, you talk to people all the time. You work with media, you're on the radio, so you have both of those going on. So you can really get to know that planet. And I think it's really great. We have Mercury in Aquarius right now. And I don't know where your Aquarius is, but anyways, so Mercury in Aquarius right now is asking us to communicate into the future. What is the future of communication? How are we
Hmm.
going to do this? And that's going to hit on the full moon in Leo Sunday. So it's a powerful full moon in Leo. Let me backtrack 1 second. After Neptune moved into Aries. So let me get back to that. So that Neptune moving into Aries, when it was in Pisces, it was watery. And Neptune lives with Pisces in the 12th house. So we were dreamy, we were full of illusion, we were full of magic, but we didn't know how to manifest it. So we gave it over. We wanted the guru. We wanted religion. Not to say that any of that's bad, but when you give your power over to something that big, we lose ourselves.
Hmm.
So that was an 11-year, but still, I mean, Pisces, Neptune and Pisces was still very good. It was very creative, but it was just, it liked to be out here. I know I'm doing movement. Nobody can see that, but it was like this. Now, so why this is so important. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac wheel, right? It's the 12th house. It's completion. So we've completed that area right now of illusion, of the fog, like what is our spirituality? Who are we looking up to? How do we do this? And now we transitioned into Neptune and Aries. I love it.
Do you feel
It's fire.
that
It's fire, Steve.
we're coming out we're coming out of our fog, and
Yes.
it's almost like the field and the trees, there's all mist, and you can navigate, but it's not as easy. Just walked out of that wall of fog and mist, and in front of us is a field of fire where it's
That's it.
bam, there it is. Now do something with it. You have clarity.
Yes,
Hmm.
that's it. And now that doesn't mean that we don't have to work, but we do. So this Neptune in Aries will go until 2038, and it equals vision equals action. Neptune and Aries, vision equals action. It's where our dreams are now going to meet action. They want identity. They want the I am. They want you to have courage in order to manifest the dream of Neptune, the beauty of Neptune, the creativity of Neptune,
I just wrote those
and the
words down.
magic of Neptune.
Vision equals
I love
action.
it.
I want to share it with
Yes,
others. How do I
please.
reference that? If I'm explaining it to others, if you have a vision right now, put it into action. This is the best time to do it based on astrological transits. And what would they be?
So that would be Neptune in Aries. Now, that depends where it is in your chart. Whatever house it's igniting is the theme of your life. For me, it's igniting my fourth chart. I mean, excuse me, my fourth house. So that's about my lineage, my ancestry. Will I find a new motivation, a new way to express self-care through my
Hmm.
business? How will I take self-care to another level for myself, my family? Um, that's for me. But what Neptune and what Aries is going to ask of Neptune is, okay, you got this vision, but now we need to have the courage, not the aggression, but the courage to act on the truth of it, to embody it, because Aries is the first house of the zodiac. It's the I am.
I have so many questions. All right, here we go. Um,
Please.
in the house, fourth house, 12th house, all of that, are those houses all the same? Like you said, in the fourth house is more about self-care and that type of thing. Is it the same in all charts for all people?
Yes,
Okay. All
those
right.
houses are the same. So the structure of the zodiac wheel, the 12 houses, who rules that house, who lives in that house? Aries lives in the first house, Taurus lives in the second, Gemini lives in the third, Cancer in the fourth, onward. That always stays the same.
Okay.
What makes it alive and multidimensional is the houses, like, I'm sorry, excuse me, the planets and the archetypes, how they are configured in your chart, what's on the cusps. Then it gets bigger. What are the transits? How are the transits that are happening right now talking to your blueprint? So it's this little map that keeps growing and growing and growing, and that is alive. And what Neptune and Aries is asking, which is so beautiful, is let's embody our spirituality. Let's not give it up. Let's empower ourselves to live the vision, to live the understanding that fire motivates creativity. And Neptune inspires the creativity.
So this is going to be a astrological life coaching type question. Vision equals action.
Yes.
What if you have a vision? You're feeling it in your heart. It's like, I should be doing this. You don't know how. You don't know how to orchestrate it, but you know it's the answer. What do you do?
I think that there's several things to do, and the first thing to do is write down just three. Write down three goals from this vision that you see. Don't judge it. It's not right or wrong. It's just what it is.
What if your goals are kind of lofty, but and you look at it, and it's that almost sounds like manifestation, where it's been said that don't worry how you're going to do it, just think of it, just process it, throw it out into the
Yes.
universe, write it down, as you're saying. Don't get into the
Yes.
minutia. Start at the end point. It's here. I've attained my goal. Beautiful. And of course, I do believe this is my personal feeling. The goal should help others. Doesn't mean you're not going to get compensated for it, but it should be for the greater good of all. Once you have it,
And,
is
and
that what we're saying here? That you write it down as if it's almost like you're manifesting it.
write it down. Yeah. And then what Aries is asking in Neptune and Aries is saying, we're not going to be passive anymore, Neptune, because Neptune can be passive because it's transcendental. It's out in the ethers, it's divine. But I'm going to help you because my energy is, I'm going to say this, not the warrior, but I'm going to say, because it's a Neptune, the spiritual warrior. You can use my fire, my motivation to not burn out, but to have the courage to give it body. How do you give it body? You can do some kind of body work. You can do, like I said, writing down. You can go to a coach. So you can write those goals down. And what are the steps that you need to get there? Because with Neptune and Aries, the thing that you want to be careful of is illusion versus impulse. Illusion is Neptune because it gets caught up in all the divinity of the watery, psychic, beautiful energy way up in the universe, which is so beautiful. That's the inspiration of artistic endeavors and artistic being. No matter if you're an artist or not, we all have it. With Aries, who wants impulse? I want it now. I'm not going to wait. I'm going to say yes. It's about working with the energy to not go too fast, but not to get stuck in illusion, but to have boundaries and to talk to yourself. This, to me, This Neptune in Aries is a great transit for self-talk.
Interesting that we,
Uh,
what were you going to say? I'm sorry, go.
no, go ahead.
That many of us talk negatively to ourselves, and maybe that's partly derailing the
Yeah.
process or delaying it
Or self-sabotage.
or self-sabotage. Yeah. Wow.
So what Aries is saying, what we'll talk about next week, that the fire horse is giving you the courage, the power. I mean, just look at a horse. When that horse is running full speed and in their power. And I'll tell you this, it makes me think about when I was a kid. My father used to like run the horse, run, run, run. And that horse, when you pull the reins, would stop on a dime, Steve, on a dime. That's
Mm,
how
mm,
controlled, in a good sense, they are of their energy.
yeah. Would you say, I kind of always ask this question, but
I
I've,
love it.
I just feel it. Um, that this is really, really, really a very impactful time. And if you have a vision, if you have something in your heart, it's there. You're feeling it. You just know this is the right thing. Whatever it
Yeah,
is, maybe it's a
yeah.
goal, maybe it's a personal situation. If you're feeling it inside, you need to take action, and it's go time. This is it. Do it now.
It is, it's it's go time with a lot of consciousness and a lot of understanding of the body and how to carry that energy in a way that doesn't bowl somebody over because but you can still be bold, but not bowl somebody over, not like, run somebody over, not to be so
Like
aggressive.
the bull in the
And
china shop. Don't
yeah,
be
yeah,
don't
thank
do
you.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't do that. Thank you. I love that. But here's why it's go time. Please, please try not to miss this opportunity because it won't come around again for 165 years. That's
Mm.
crazy ass. Sorry, but it is. And you know why, Steve? Real quick, because Neptune moves around the zodiac sign, right? Moves through every archetype, starting from Aries, moving all the way around. But each archetype, each zodiac sign takes 14 years. 165 years. Went into Pisces, finished the whole cycle. That's why it's completion. We're starting over again. So 165 years ago was the Civil War.
Wow.
Just think where we are right now. I'm not saying we're in civil war, but we're in a time that we are looking at each other, figuring out what is truth. What do we need to do? How do we need to be in community? How do we need to address each other as far as our fears go so we don't hurt each other?
So you essentially make me the smartest person in the room when I share this with others. Are we saying that we have 12 zodiac signs times 14? That's what gets us to 165, 8, whatever it is.
Yes,
And
it's crazy.
we've gone around the clock. We've gone around the
Yeah,
cycle. We're at the beginning again. And
yes.
wow. And we're out of time. I want to ask again so we all understand best and beautiful. Thank you for making this clear.
Oh,
Just to
gosh.
reiterate, what does Neptune mean? What does Aries mean? I know that Neptune is
Yes.
in Aries. What do those two planets represent?
So Neptune is an outer planet. It's a transpersonal planet. We can't see it. It's really way out there. So it's not only individually, but it's collectively. It changes. It's a new era in our culture, in our collective consciousness. And that is about divinity, our spirituality, our inspiration through artistic endeavors, through how we are empathic to each other and how we're compassionate to self. In Aries, it's about I have a body. I am the spiritual warrior. I want to embody my motivations, my projects, my ideas, my innovations in order to bring them through and out.
Thank you.
And in Neptune, we want to do that with compassion, love, and kindness.
Final question, real quick. Got to ask it, and I always ask it.
Yeah.
The Nancy 10 scale, in terms of 10 being this is very impactful. I'm detecting from you, because we're at the starting point again now in terms of astrology, 160 something years. I'm feeling, not putting words in your mouth, just what I'm detecting, feeling that we're at a 10, but this is the biggest 10 you're going to find in a long, long time, especially if you want your dreams to come true.
Woo, beautifully said. It's a 10 times 10 times 10.
And that's that.
And you know why? Because we're never going to see it again in our lifetime. Go
time.
for it with heart and soul.
Go time. And by the way, housekeeping, the Mercury retrograde starts February 26th. I was thinking,
God, thank you, Steve,
that it was the fire horse Chinese astrology. I always get them confused. That is the 17th. So the 26th.
Oh, it is the 17th.
retrograde.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that, because there's a transit that will be on that same day. February is a powerful month, everyone, and please believe in yourself. That's all I can say. Believe in yourself and believe in someone else.
TheWhisperingSoul.net is how we find you.
Yep.
You got questions? I want to hear it. Let's go. Instant
Please.
feedback, steve@gmail.com. Thank you for today, Nancy. I feel like I have fuel in my tank after this conversation.
Fill it up, Steve, because you're going to go for it.
You're amazing. Thank you
And
so
thank
much.
you so much for your insight.
I think we have
Thank
more
you.
snow coming. We're one state apart. That's what I'm hearing. So we'll see.
I know, but you know what? I'm used to snow. I'm from Buffalo. I'm a Buffalonian.
I embrace it because you know what it does? It taps my brakes, and I focus on things that I wouldn't normally be doing because you can't be out driving and whatever.
No. Slows you down.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.